Good morning. Today is Friday, October 14th. It's almost 10 till 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Kind of a late quote unquote pre-market. It is just a trading plan. It doesn't necessarily have to be pre-market because we've got all day. However, I would like to get these out. Of course, ideally, it'd be great to have them out at 8:45 a.m. We had news at 8:30. There's other things that I have to take care of and do, and it doesn't always happen that way. And this is probably the latest one I've ever put out. Conflicting data points we've got coming in. We had a gap up. We've closed it now, and a gap above. The stories are, first of all, we actually gapped up just about 10 points, not quite. By the time I'd written this and then looked at the chart, the open was just under 10 points. But closed the gap to the downside. Well, this happened. Never got to the overnight high. The overnight value area high might have been a place to sell against, or coming through, or selling the open, that kind of thing. Well, this is through now, so we don't need to worry about this. Okay, so the next thing would be, the next story would be to gap up or down on pre-market news, which we did. Continuation, close the gap to the upside. That may yet still happen. All right, but we're moving on from there because that's not in play right now. Rotate balance above prior high day. Okay, so what this means is, this is important to talk about even though we're not doing that at this moment. If we get rejected out of this range from yesterday, which is a pretty big range, we're going to look at possibly, and I'm looking at basically a rotation from, and again, it did, in the overnight, it did close the gap that was to the upside. So we had like an island reversal. Let me pull the daily chart in here. You can see what I mean. Right here, had this island up here. Then we had a gap up from yesterday. It closed it, but we closed that. Well, we closed this one. Well, that's at 34, 37, 34. The overnight touched it. So the overnight high is now a week high. I think odds are pretty good. We might reverse. We have that initial move to the downside. If we don't get a take back of yesterday, and we had a lot of it looks like new buying come in yesterday. Open interest was up quite a bit. So, we're coming back down towards settlement. And how far will it go? Will it take out the overnight low? Well, we really need, let me move this over here. If we get back above the prior high day, which is also, by the way, yesterday's value area high. All right, so that's important to note. If we get back above it, especially in A period, because if we open right now in B period in 10 minutes, hey, I mean, it's quite a ways. We got a shot at the 80% rule, right? How likely that is, I don't know. I mean, I think the percentage goes down because the value area low is somewhere at the bottom of the ocean here. Somewhere, here it is, right down here. It's down at 61.25. That's quite a ways, and a lot of excess in the middle. We've got single prints and things. So, hey, anything's possible. Look what happened yesterday. You could get some long liquidation, and the ES famously is a whipsaw machine, even on big ranges, right? All right, so we got a week low now in A period, and when we come down to the volume point of control, we got this congestion in the overnight. Let me close this up here, and again, will we find there might be an opportunity to sell it again up towards, if we get like a nice, we are starting to develop a volume distribution. I would say definitely if the VPOC moves down inside yesterday's range, be careful, but because this could just be long liquidation, initial move before the real move of the day. Okay, but again, all right, I'm getting away from the stories here, but let me come back to something. If we get rejected out of here, we're looking at maybe balancing, in like this, right? Just balancing. That's pretty much story. Let's see here. Above prior balancing, I mean, if we say balancing below here, well, that's acceptance, right? But if we, just as we came in here, doesn't mean we're gonna not balance up in this general area. There's a danger in being too exact in trading. You got to think in terms of areas and not price levels, exact price levels and things like that. All right, so we re-enter the prior day's range. Right now, this is our story. We're down in here. Are we finding acceptance? If we do, we're looking to get short against the prior high day or other inflection points. Now, balance, once back into this range, it needs a new volume distribution to confidently sell. Doesn't mean you can't sell, but if we're going to get confident, confidence means you might have enough confidence to put one on and hold it. We really want to start seeing some one-time framing, some real volume come in, some hammering, right? Some thrusting downwards. So those are all important data points to crank in. We've got a lot of targets. It's target-rich environment. So I don't know. I'm not feeling it right now for the sells. We're sort of stalled out right here, but it could pick up. We're 5 more minutes to the next. By the time this video gets published, B period is going to be open. I would also say, and again, this is just, you have to adjust with the markets. Just because it comes out of the value area high and comes back in, I wouldn't discount the concept, the theoretical principle of the 80% rule. Move down to a smaller time frame, or just, you know, watch and be patient. Yeah, the operating thing is to be patient, okay? But we do have an area where we could, you know, this concave area, this tends to happen. What's going on here? This tends to happen here, where we get rotation in these and some backfill. And then, you know, we also, another thing tends to happen is we get a redirection to the upside. So again, don't forget, the overnight high is right on the low of, right here. It's right on this low. Conversely, conflictingly, you notice this the red dotted line is a 20 moving average. It's at 37.14 basically. Well, we already went above it and came down. It's still at a steep downtrend angle. Will we close above it? I think that's going to be critical. I would say that another thing to bear in mind is that this candle, you have the open down here and the close up here. It engulfs 1, 2, 3 full candles. Engulfs it. That's regular trading hours. Fully engulfs it. What does that mean? Very often, an engulfment of several candles to the left, it means it will go forward at least that many times. So just bear that in mind. So it makes sense that there's going to be some mailbox money for people tomorrow, where, you know, they came in this morning and had positions overnight and want to take profits off this continuation. And then at some point, things turn around. The selling wears off. I can see that happening. So I'm favorable to this, and then I'll wrap up the video. I'm favorable to, where's the thing? I'm favorable to getting rejected out of here, and this rotating and balance above prior high of day to higher. Okay. All right. One other thing I want to point out that is not related necessarily today, but yesterday. And I wish I would have seen this coming, because I thought I wasn't factoring in how small a range Wednesday's range was. This was the smallest day in 8 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You look at the ranges, it's very apparent. This is a phenomenon that where if you have a very tight range and it's the smallest range in 8 or more days, you look out, you might get an explosive move. So one of the stories I probably should have included is if we did take out the high of the prior day, and, you know, especially coming into it like a freight train, is to expect to continue. So you know, I actually going to start keeping a log of things that I should have realized. That way I can dial into that, because I've only been making these videos now a little over a month. I used to do them a long time ago, but I'm back in the routine of doing it. And I want them to be excellent, because we, you know, we need to do our work as unto the Lord, right? And want to do an excellent job. And I need to use all the tools I have and do the best I can. And one way of doing that is to give my own self feedback. And one of them is, I noticed, I missed something here. I should have seen it. Smallest day in 8 days. It's something I'm aware of, and I didn't. It's one that doesn't happen is so often that you have it in your toolbox, like right at the top. It's like one of those. It's like one of those metric wrenches that falls to the bottom of your toolbox. You got to dig through a bunch of stuff to find it, and then start trying it to, you know, make sure if that's the right one for the job. All right, enough of that. Okay, thanks very much. Make a great day. Maybe we'll see you later.